good. How are you?
Yeah, it's great. I hope it will go better this time.
I really hope so. That last time was it was crazy. I never had that kind of reception before. You never know you
Yeah,
get with Skype sometimes. Hey,
yeah, exactly.
hey. First thing I got to say, I know. Last time was kind of like a little bit of in and out, and with the reception and everything. But I
Yeah,
got to say, first of all, it's a pleasure to speak with you. I mean, I get to talk to you on Facebook and do all that, but actually getting a chance to sit down with you on a Saturday morning here in the U.S. is I can't figure out a better way to start the morning than doing this.
yeah, yeah. It's works great for me too. It's great to hear.
Talk a little bit of metal in the morning, man.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Hey, first thing I wanted to ask you, I know we talked about it on the last call, but for the fans that are first listening in, I get a lot of people that listen in, and they get to listen to bands that they haven't heard or they're just starting to get into now. Could you give me a little background on Air Raid? Like, how did you guys get started and the formation of the band?
Yeah, we were formed in 2009 when me and the former guitarist Johan Karlsson started the band, and we had endless of lineup changes in the first 1.5 years. But eventually we found the current bassist and drummer very early. So David Hermansson on drums and Robin Utbult on bass. And sometime later, the singer, our first singer, and we recorded a EP, and shortly after a first full-length album called Night of the Axe. And we played some shows in Europe, but it was big personal differences between us and the singer. So we decided to change, and then we found a new singer called Arthur Andersson, and we recorded Point of Impact, second full length, in 2014. And now it was much better lineup with better chemistry in the band, and so it held on for 2 years, this lineup. And then we needed to change guitarist because he was studying a lot and couldn't find time and had low ambition in this. So then we changed to current guitarist Magnus Mild, and for same reason, shortly after this, our singer Arthur decided to quit the band. So we started to search for another singer, and we found the current one, Fredrik Werner. And yeah, that's how it is. And now we have recorded across the line.
And
Yeah,
just going through that that story, with the with the lineup changing, how the band's built. How do you feel right now for how strong the band is right now? Because the new album you have coming out September 29th, Across the Line, like you mentioned, with the new lineup with Fredrik on vocals and Magnus on guitar. How do you feel that this lineup compares to the other? Is this more like a lineup that you were looking for when you first got started, when you first had the vision for the band?
yeah. It's by far the best lineup, both in musicality and personal chemistry in the band. It's really on top now, and of course we were looking for this on early stages, but it's not so easy to get a band together with the same high ambitions. But now it's really on top much difference from what we had before.
And what's great is I know we talked about it already. Is the new album I think is fantastic across the line. I get the Holics tracks from I got them from Dustin Hardman, who I always give kudos to Dustin because he really gets me some good music. There's bands that I never had the chance to listen to, and now I'm a huge fan. And with you guys, I got the tracks and I got to hear across the line. I mean, I was blown away, Andreas. I mean, right away. I mean, it's an album that's that has like the old school metal style, but it also brings it to the the new millennium, and it's very impressive. I mean, when I hear songs like Hold the Flame, which opens the album, I was sold immediately. Very impressive.
That's fantastic to hear. That's that was the intention, and I'm very happy to hear.
And when you guys went into to write this album, like I said, you had Point of Impact previously, which is by the way, that's another great album. But like with this one, when you came in, this one has all the elements. It has the the heaviness, it has the the huge sound, and it's also very melodic. What was it like, transitioning from the singers, to Frederick, from Arthur to Frederick, and what was it like to write this album? I mean, what were you looking for, with the singer change, and the additional guitarist? What kind of, what were you looking for as far as writing and, like you mentioned, chemistry and things like that?
Yeah, the former singer Arthur was. He was really high pitch and a bit more thin voice, and Fredrik is sort of the opposite. They are both melodic, but Fredrik has the roughness, but at the same time the melodic approach also. So really, and with Magnus in the band, who is much more similar to me guitar-wise, lots of shredding and classical elements, and it's really went natural to do this sort of 80s Malmsteen style,
Right.
Yeah, with Fredrik's voice, who is, by the way, I feel like similar singers like Jolene Turner and Jeff Scott Soto, which is, they obviously sang with Malmsteen, so
right.
And it were really natural to do it.
He is a great singer, and he really fits the style of the band perfectly, I think. And I was listening yesterday, and I wanted to bring this up to you. Is he reminds me a lot of Johnny Gioeli from Hardline, and when I was listening to like Black Dawn and songs like that, I mean, I was listening to it. I listened to it multiple times, and I said, man, he really reminds me of Johnny, which is a huge compliment, because he's a fantastic singer.
I'm not really sure who this is. I haven't listened much to Hardline, so I don't really remember. But
okay,
maybe I guess Fredrik knows it, because he listens a lot to the hard rock and AOR stuff.
Right. Yeah, he really fits the band perfectly. I mean, as far as style and everything, and he gives you guys I'm sure a different dimension as well, because the style that he sings at, like you said, is more melodic, and it probably, for you to go in as a songwriter, probably makes it a little easier on you too, because it lets you, go in some different directions.
Yeah, it's in the beginning when he joined the band, he was a little confused about. He thought that he should sing more aggressive and stuff because he joined a heavy metal band, but I had to tell him to sing exactly as his natural voice, very melodic. He sings in an AOR band in Gothenburg. So
right.
I told him to sing exactly in the same way. And then we were writing, the songs were written with his vocals in mind, So totally.
And you really did the writing on this album, is excellent. Like I said, when I listen to it, I feel so many different things. I mean, it's the style of the '80s, and some of the modern elements. But what I love about it is it really sounds like it's live to me. I mean, I can just picture what Air Raid sounds like live, and it comes across very well on the album.
Yeah, it's when we have had the previous two albums, most people has always said that we are much better live than on the album, and then I have always thought that I want to capture both, the feel, and I think we did it with Across the Line. It's different from the other albums because it's more on the same level as we sound live, It's high energy, and so I think it succeeded with this.
I think you really did, and with the lineup, I mean, you mentioned Magnus on guitar with you. You guys complement each other very well. I mean, the solos and really, I think what I like the most about this album is how great your guitar sounds. I mean, it sounds, you get that feeling, when you listen to metal. I mean, at least for me, that, when I hear something like that and I'm blown away immediately, this is an album that I'm going to listen to for years and years and years, and it's going to sound just as good in 10 years, 20 years, 30 years as it sounds today. And I think that's saying a lot, about you guys and how excellent the band really is.
Oh, that's really great to hear. About the guitar sound, Magnus is really, really good in sound, and in the studio and everything. So he's really skilled in this. And I'm just, we were lucky that he joined the band, and he was lucky to join the band. It's really collaboration between everyone that works really great.
How about some of the ways that you, some of the ways the songs came about? I mean, when you go into, write a song, an Air Raid song, do you sit down with do you come in and collaborate with the guys? Is it a melody that starts it? Is it a hook? I mean, what do you go for when you start to write a song?
This is really a diffuse subject because
right.
It's really difficult to answer because it's much in the moment. Just an idea comes up, but mostly it's about the riff. You sit with the guitar and you come up with a riff, and you just go along with it. Or actually, for one song, "Hold the Flame," it was the first time I actually wrote the chorus first, because I was just sitting and thinking of a melody, and I just recorded it,
Right.
It really happens out of nowhere, much of those stuff. So, but mostly it's about guitar playing, the riffs, and then you start build around it.
Yeah, I think it's exceptional. I mean, like I said, the way the songs are written, and there's so many standout tracks on here. We talked the other day, and we were talking on Facebook, and Hell and Back, is another one that stands out to me. It gives me kind of like the old feel of like like when I first heard Armored Saint, back in the mid '80s, and I get a little Iron Maiden vibe and a little bit of Judas Priest. What are some of your influences? I mean, it's obviously very diverse. I mean, like I said, I hear a lot of melodic side of it, but I also hear the heavy side, and it's a great collaboration. It really is.
Yeah, it really. I think that because we never really think of one artist or something that we are inspired by. It's more like we are really going along with what we have grown up with and listened to all our life, But to say which artist we have listened to in the band it's of course Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, Accept, and Saxon, and of course, me and Magnus are grown up with Malmsteen, a lot of Malmsteen and Rainbow, new classical playing,
Right.
The Swedish heavy metal style, if I can say that, that style.
It's a, and you mentioned the Swedish style, and Malmsteen's one of my all-time favorites. And you get you could see the influences there with you. I mean, you have a really good sound, like he does. You have some of his technique, and and I think that's good, for the fact that when you hear a band, like you guys that play the the heavier side, to have that element, in there, with the songwriting and the songs. I mean, that just makes it so much more, diverse, to different fans when they get to hear that style.
Yeah, I think we have a pretty unique style among the other younger bands. Not so many do this new classical thing blended with the old style heavy metal. So I think we sound special.
I agree. I think it's it's definitely a band, and it's definitely an album that, for everybody that's listening here, I can't recommend this enough. I mean, I highly recommend this. The songs are fantastic. I mean, you guys really, I mean, took it up, another notch, and to be able to, to hear an album like this, I mean, it's refreshing, Andreas. Honestly, I mean, because I hear a lot of bands that are doing, more of the modern stuff. I mean, with the growls and the crunchy vocals and the screams, and you guys are doing something that I think is exceptional, and I hope the trend kind of stays that way, because it's an exceptional album. I love it.
Yeah, that's great to hear. Yeah, we will always have the roots in this melodic 80s, if I can say, like this style. It will never change, because we are not so affected by what's happening now. We're just doing our music, and I think there are many bands that copy each other, and now
Right.
we don't really do this. We do our thing, and if we are influenced by something, it's something from the 80s, or not something that happens now at all.
You guys really did. I mean, and for a band that to be able to to keep that alive and everything. I mean, I know for me as a fan, that's really great to hear. I mean, and you guys, from everything that I've seen, I get to see some YouTube clips and things, and what's cool is when I see you guys live, on those clips, it's kind of like it's a rock show. I mean, it's a metal show. It's not a bunch of guys just standing up there, looking down at their feet, being bored. It's a bunch of guys up there just playing away and giving it all. And I think that really comes across, in your live performances as well, which is great.
Yeah, we have heard it from many people, and that's really our goal. We have to, because it's live, you have to do something special. Otherwise, it's just no idea for us, to play live. It has to happen something that is that people can remember.
Exactly. I mean, it's really great. I mean, it's really great to to have a band doing that again and having a chance to hear it. And how about as far as reaction from the new album? I know you guys put out the the Hold the Flame video and some clips and everything. What kind of feedback are you getting from the fans and the media so far?
We have from fans and on Facebook and other from we have been spoken with. It has been really. Most of the people are really surprised about the album, and we have only heard positive thoughts about it. So it's really great. Now I don't really read reviews actually. I think it's not so important. So I don't actually know if there is any in reviews. I guess it is out. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. I'm working on my review right now, so you'll be really happy with that one.
Okay, that's great.
How about the album's coming out? It's in Japan on the 20th. And worldwide on the 29th of September, which is coming up in the next 2 weeks. What are the plans for the band? I mean, you guys. I know you're doing the Classic Metal Attack show.
Yeah.
What are some of the other things that you have planned as far as a tour to launch the album?
Now it's only 2 weeks left until we are leaving for 20 shows in Europe. So 20
Great.
shows in 22 days. So
Yeah, that's.
so it will be very busy, but really fun.
That's good that that you get to go out and support the album like that. I mean, it really is exceptional, and for the fans to get a chance to hear, these new songs and that material out there, and you guys, in support of that. I mean, I know that it's got to be great.
Yeah, it's really great. We like to. I like to do it the old school way. You make an album and then straight after you go on tour to promote the album. It's the old school way, and then you start again writing new album, head on tour. It's the best way, I think, to promote an album. So yeah,
I agree.
We are trying to do this.
I agree. I mean, to get out there to the fans and to have a chance to to promote it properly. I totally agree with you. That's the best way. Face to face with the fans, and
Yeah.
I think you guys are going to do very well with this. I really do. I mean, I see this being a great album for you. And really launching you guys. So I really hope that I know the fans in Europe, but I hope that the fans here in the United States are receptive to to this band and what you guys are doing, because the metal generation is still strong over here, and
Yeah.
it really is to have you guys bring this out, and for people to be able to hear what it was like back then, and then bring it to the modern times with a bigger sound, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, it will. We are really excited about the release, and we want to play as much as possible. And USA, we would love to come over to USA, and we are actually planning to come over for playing on there is a festival in California called Frost and Fire.
Okay.
And underground metal, and we will try to get over there. I have some contact with the promoter, so let's see if it works. And also, by the way, I forgot to mention that we will head over to Japan on 5th of November and play in Tokyo.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, it's a festival called Japanese Assault Fest, and that's fantastic. We were there one time in 2013, and it was the craziest thing we have done so far, easily. Yeah.
That's great, that's great. I guess the fans have to love it over there. I mean, it seems like the the Japanese audience is really huge still in the metal scene. Yeah,
they are. If they like the band, they are extremely dedicated when you meet them there. They're extremely kind, and they are just loving it. They take photos all the time, and autographs, and it's really fun.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
And how about looking at the song list for the new album? I wanted to ask you what's one of your favorite songs on the album, and what's a song that you're looking forward to? Not only a song that you enjoyed recording, but a song that you're looking forward to playing live for the fans.
it's really quite hard to say it because I was involved so heavily in every song, but it's hard to have a perspective on which is my own favorite.
Right.
I don't know. I like to play Hell and Back for sure. Is really great live,
Right.
and the song worked great, and also Hold the Flame, of course. We will open the gigs with Hold the Flame, so it will be having a big impact, I think.
I think that's a great song to open with. The video. The video that you guys shot, it was it was excellent too. I mean, it really it has a a ton of energy in it, and you get to see kind of like what you guys are like live, and I think that's great. I mean, that song opening up, I think the fans are going to be wowed by that.
Yeah, it's really. I think the video really captures our live shows. It's very similar actually.
It is. I really hope with us talking now, I really hope that you guys do have a chance to come over to the U.S. and and to be able to see the bands from Europe having a chance to come back over here. I know that it's difficult as far as logistically and but I just really hope that we decide to get back to the way it was and get the bands back over here because there's so much exceptional music over in Europe, and every day that I find a new band and and it seems like that the scene over there is doing very well. Is that how you feel? Do you see that?
Yeah, to be really honest, the metal scene in general in Europe and especially in Sweden, it's extremely strong. It's so many quality bands here. It's crazy. But it's specifically in Sweden for some reason. I don't really know why, but for so few people living here and so many heavy metal bands, it's crazy.
Yeah, that's great that that it's still like that though, and it's been like that for a long time too. I mean, from as long as I've been listening, I know, I've been a fan of so many big Swedish bands that with you guys coming out right now, I have to honestly say, Andreas, I'm a huge fan right now. I mean, I think you guys are fantastic. I think it was kind of like a sound that me personally I was looking for. I mean, I get to listen to a lot of things, like I said, and when I put this in, it was just, I was blown away instantly, and I really think that that's how a lot of the fans are going to hear the first time that they get to listen to this album.
I really hope so. It's I think we have something going on.
I really do.
It's hard for me to relate to it so much because I was so heavily involved in the songwriting, so it's hard to get this perspective on how people feel about it. But it's fantastic to hear your words.
Right, it really is. And I was listening to to Black Dawn the other day, and I sent you the message, and when you put that in, I have the the tracks in there, so I don't have the actual CD, but I mean it still sounds great. Even with the tracks and everybody that gets a chance to hear this album, when you put it in, man, it sounds great in a car too. When you get to crank that up, with the windows down on a warm day, it makes a statement.
That's great. Yeah.
But how about any last words, Andreas? How about anything that that you want to get out there to the fans? Anything that you want to let everybody know? Anything that we didn't cover that's coming up? As far as the tour and any special things for the album release or anything.
I don't think there is anything we haven't mentioned. I think we have gone through a lot of stuff here. But
right.
Of course, I want to say thanks to the American listeners, and we really want to come over because we would love to play in USA. It's a dream since I was a kid, so we should really do it.
I really hope so. I mean, I really do. I mean, I think you guys are ready to explode here, worldwide with this album. And everybody that's listening in, air raid across the line, get out there and check these guys out, because it's exceptional. I mean, if you're into metal the way it's supposed to be, this has every element. Melodic, it's heavy, it has everything that you look for if you're a metal fan, and it's an exceptional record. And Andreas, I wish you the best, man. I think you guys are fantastic, and I hope you crush it on tour, and I hope the album sells millions of copies. I think it's deserved. And I just wish you the best, my friend. Thank you so much for taking the time to sit down with me and chat.
It was a pleasure for me. It's great. Thank you a lot, man.
No problem. I'll get the review out for you guys, and I'll send you a copy of it, and I'll keep spreading the word, and I'll get you a copy of this interview as well. We'll do a nice presentation for you, get it out there, and we'll do our part over here to help promote you guys. And like I said, I wish you the best, man. You have a great weekend, and kill it out on tour, because we're listening.
Yes, thanks a lot, man. Have a great weekend. Talk soon.
You do the same. Thanks, Andreas.